right. Just a second. I just clicked on something I shouldn't have. In the 90s, let me get in here. Oh, hold on. Forgot the intro.
Mystic ancient secrets can all be answered when you ask the mystic access guru. That is I, the great exalted one. I have come across 3 astral projections through the god plane in the hero metamorphosis to give you the knowledge you deserve.
Okay, that's better. I ordered, or let's see, back when I was
Okay. In
hold on. Back when I was living in Ohio, there was a program or a series of software programs called EJ. I don't know if anybody ever used them, but I loved them. It was basically a music creation software. Let's see if I can't. Let's see, Windows Capture. No. Display Capture. Here we go. This is it right here. This is called I can't remember what it's called. Dance EJ. And it basically creates dance music by using pre-recorded loops that all mesh together. It's really a cool program. Um, oops. There we go. This is what it looks like. And if I hit play,
Give me your vibration. Give me your vibration. Give me your vibration.
so what you can do is I can hit Alt and just drag this over, and I've just duplicated I've just duplicated it. How do you delete? It's not letting me delete. There we go. Yeah, I got to hit erase. But here, let me see. New. So I can take, like, it's got loops, it's got drums, sequences, bass, synth, specials, voice, rap, effects, wave. So you take a loop and you click on it, and it tells you what the loop sounds like this one. So I can basically move this into here, duplicate it a few times, and I've started a song. Then you can take put some bass in. So let's move that into there. Uh-oh, just crashed. Anyway, that's all I wanted to show. It's a program that I used back in the 1999, and could not find it. I could not fucking find this program anywhere until I just ran across it. And so I purchased it. It was like $7. And it's a lot of fun. So I'll be able to create music for the channel, like intro music or whatever. So anyway, let me say hello to everybody. Hello, Lindsay, George, Deplorable, and Moxie. Good to have you here. So we got a few things for you.
we're Mastodons.
We could start here, then we'll do this one by 5 years sharing level Earth's roof. James Mann. So this is Deplorable Ilk's newest one.
There were mastodons that actually have their skulls, their teeth, their bones. Yeah, they did exist. People
You know,
had
us,
them as pets. Yeah.
us flirts, man, we could barely tell an ass from a hole in the ground. You know.
I'm telling you. Yeah. So we're measuring a map.
Dude, that's not the flex you think it is, JJ.
Boy, check it out.
Yeah.
Ooh, look at
Yeah,
that
this is hard to
model.
do because I'm looking back at my computer. So this Gleason map is a poster. It's a 3 foot by, or 2 foot by 3 foot. And every inch, it's about 16,000 miles from, see if I can get ice wall to ice wall. So every inch represents about 1,000 miles, right?
Mhm.
Okay, it's about 16 inches across. So we're talking about every inch is about 1,000 miles. So hold on a second. Let me readjust this. Okay, so Tropic of Cancers right here. Let's see if I can see this. Do you see where 3,000 miles high is? You can see 3 inches, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you would be able to see if you were 3,000 miles high, if the sun was, you'd be able to see clear across over to Russia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's got to be lower.
Or it could be bullshit and the earth isn't flat. You ever think of that, dumb fuck?
Right? And at 1,000 miles,
Ooh.
you're still almost too high. So it's even below that. The sun, the luminaries.
I'm with you so far. I think JJ just dropped out for no reason. Hold on.
See, it's kind of hard to see with this map,
I get you.
this angle.
Yeah.
But if you just use
So basically, they're saying that the flat earth is impossible because of what we, as dumb motherfuckers, understand about light.
measuring tape, make your own model or whatever, just
Yeah.
that you can see that 1,000 miles, you'd still be able to see it up across and over. It's got to be really, really close. It's got to be, and you know what divergent
Yep, that's the link.
rays.
Yeah, I used. I worked as I worked in the photo lab in a mall in Columbus, Ohio, the City Center Mall, and I used that software to create ambience music for the shop.
In the sky, when you go outside and you see them through the clouds, you know it's like super close. And I got it like way close because I went and looked, and I'm like, dude, I'm at like really like 100 miles in the freaking air, like that close. Turn this off. It's hard to get this. It's easier with my phone.
Yeah.
When I'm doing that.
Yeah, but I do see what you're saying, Chris. About 3,000 miles would be high enough to see.
So, so the dome would have to be low enough that planes could run into it.
Across half the plane, wouldn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, biggest doggus.
Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah.
And like I was saying with Jay Tolan, when he was 6 miles high, you could see 2,000 miles with his infrared camera. And if you even say you're 60 miles in the air, you should be able to see, 10,000 miles. And then it isn't the angular resolution. At that point, it's inverse square law of light, which is totally different. It diminishes over distance.
Right, the intensity of light diminishes over distance, not light itself, dumb fuck. Light goes on forever. It's the intensity of it.
Think about all the gases all that light has to penetrate through, too.
Yes, all those clear, transparent gases.
That's why when it goes away,
But
you actually,
But
Get a
in
readout.
the stratosphere, there is no gases. There ain't all that atmospheric, water in the air and dirt and dust, whatever. It's clear.
I'm talking about the light
past
we
12
get.
miles.
Mm.
Yeah, but the light we get down here it to your local area, it'll have to pass through a medium.
Right, a clear, transparent medium.
It'll slow it down.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't slow it down.
Towards the ground. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but the higher you get in the air, there's less and
Especially
less
with
of
all
that.
those heavy metals they're dumping up there, awfully reflective.
The plains are only 6 miles high, and the troposphere ends at 12 miles in the tropics, because
The troposphere has nothing to do with the tropics.
it's a little higher in the tropics than the poles. The poles, the atmosphere is lower down, like the where the stratosphere starts is higher in the tropics than the poles. So I always refer to the tropics when I'm talking about the atmosphere. Just, to keep everything but
Hey, Dixie.
yeah, the plains are 6 miles high in the troposphere, and then at the tropopause
No, he said there's no gases in the troposphere.
is 12 miles high, where the stratosphere starts, and that's where daylight begins. Daylight is above the airplanes even, so it's like from 12 miles to 32 miles, and is that whole stratosphere, and that's all there is. Like, I can show my graphs and
Yeah, we looked at it, didn't we?
Spreadsheets.
A couple of times. Yeah.
of how the atmospheric pressure when you get to the stratosphere, the tropopause, you're already at 50 millibar, 50, and then it's 1,000 at sea level, so you're already out of almost no atmosphere at that point, just 12 miles in the air.
I get it. Yeah, it makes sense. So anything above that,
So I kind of already knew this, but I had to Google it. Yeah, the troposphere is the lowest, densest layer of Earth's atmosphere, containing roughly 75 to 100%, or 75 to 80% of total mass. So yeah, we're in the troposphere, dipshit.
there has to be some sort of containment.
Not if it dissipates to nothing, like he's kind of claiming, right?
Oh,
If
Th-
he's
this-
basically saying if you go high enough that there is no gases, so therefore you wouldn't need containment, right?
Absolutely, JJ. Good job, man.
Well, I'm
Welcome to the globe, dumb fuck.
saying
that a variable?
ether is what is
Oh, so now it's ether. Okay. Love that goalpost shifting. You know what that sound is, right?
is
Those are the wheels squeaking on the goalpost moving machine.
container.
no is what is it's
I think Chris just realized what JJ said and what he agreed to. I think he just realized it. I think it just struck him.
it's
You're grasping
I'm
for it.
forgetting
Go
the
for
word,
it.
right?
Yes.
Wow.
Okay, you can get it.
This is just cognitive dissonance in real time.
See, I
it's
feel like
I mean, you can almost smell, you can sense just the cognitive dissonance fighting it out in his head. Say, wait a second. He said this, but he said,
magnetic field.
I don't want to
all
say
the
like
air.
it's all present. I don't know what to.
It is. It's everything. It's what we breathe. It's what survival is based off of, right? The ether.
no, it's not, stupid. You should have quit while you're ahead, man.
It's everything's life. It's God,
There you go.
perhaps.
Yeah.
Perhaps. Fuck off.
Well, you can speculate that.
Well, it could be the
You can't say something fucking stupid and then say perhaps and make it true. You just can't, man. It's not how shit works.
creator
All
of
pervasive.
creation.
There we go. All pervasive medium filling the entire realm.
Okay.
Jesus fucking Christ. Now this is disproving the Big Bang heliocentric globe Earth model took me less than 24 hours to debunk.
Water, eye level and distance disprove the heliocentric Big Bang model. Globe believers believe, but sadly, they refuse to prove what they believe. Instead they argue, use other people's
What? We refuse to prove? Yes, we absolutely prove what we believe. We absolutely back our shit up with facts. Flat earthers, on the other hand, are terrified to do that. They can't even make claims because they're so fucking scared.
lies as their truth, and spew hate, instead of doing their own research. Hello, and welcome, James Mann back with another truth video. A video showing our childhood heliocentric programming in public school was actually indoctrination of the mind, designed to steal the minds of innocent children, in
What other part of the body do you indoctrinate?
order to more easily control us as adults. I am now in my 8th year as a flat earth researcher, spending
8 years. What a waste of fucking time.
my days proving we do not live in the heliocentric Big Bang
Wow.
model. The day I was told Earth is not a spherical planet, as the reason no one has been to space or the moon, was the day I proved my childhood public school education was really indoctrination, into a model that can never actually be proven.
Oh, so someone told him that the earth is flat, and in his mind, that's him proving that it's flat. Got it.
Only believed.
Hey, Lindsay. I think I already said hello. I mean, this guy's dumb as fuck.
However, the heliocentric model is easily disproven, with just a little research. Sadly, the vast majority
If you use other people's work as your proofs, you're a faith believer. No, you're a scientist. You're a scientist. See, scientists rely on consensus and repeatability. See, what you're doing is you're just repeating everything that flat earthers have told you as your proof. That completely makes you a faith believer.
believe by faith alone, and refuse to do any personal research for themselves.
Let
Let me show you how this single photo disproves NASA's heliocentric Big Bang model. And it only took a single click of my Nikon P900 Coolpix camera. My wife and I were on our morning walk along our tidal Boar River, the Petitcodiac River, in New Brunswick, Canada. The sky went from a pale blue to a white sheet, which allowed me to see and capture an image of the sun, without using a filter. I was using my Nikon Coolpix P900 camera, without the use of a tripod. With one click I captured the disk of the sun, and will show you I can disprove the claims by NASA that the sun is 109 Earths wide, and 93 million miles.
NASA doesn't claim that. That's science. See, these dumb fucks think that science and NASA are completely indistinguishable from each other. That's how fucking stupid they are.
From Earth. And note that the image is only about half the width of the photo. Let's look at this photo and see if we can debunk the heliocentric model. Again, I am only using this one image. I will crop this image and adjust some filters to cut some of the glare. I used an inverse filter to make it easier to see the sunspots. Now let's see if we can fit 109 of these tiny sunspots across the diameter of the sun. Let's start by looking at what an Earth-sized dot should look like. We were taught our sun is
What? What the fuck is this guy on?
109 Earths wide. Here are 55
So you think a sunspot is as big as the Earth? You think every sunspot is as big as the Earth?
dots crossing the sun. Now let me add another 55 Earth-sized dots between the first 55. That establishes the size of an Earth-sized sunspot according to NASA. They are much larger than any of the sunspots I captured with my camera. Let's use this tiny sunspot, and see how many we can fit across the diameter of the sun. The red dot is 48 points and matches the size of the white sunspot to the left. I will place 50 white dots the size of the sunspot, which is 48 points. Then I will place 50 red dots. But instead of placing the red dots to the right of the white dots, I will place them in the spaces between the white dots. That's 100 sunspots and it's not even halfway across the diameter of the sun. That is 300 Earth-sized sunspots, and I still didn't cross the entire sun's alleged diameter. This destroys what we were taught about the heliocentric sun, But
No, it doesn't destroy what we were taught about the heliocentric sun. The heliocentric sun. No, this proves that you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, James.
think about this. I was using a Nikon P900 camera with 2000mm zoom, not a
Which is a shit camera.
telescope. Using a little critical thinking, you should realize that it would be impossible to see sunspots this tiny from 93 million miles away, using
Why? Why? Why would it be impossible?
a handheld camera. The sun is just one proof that we have been lied to since we were children. Our teachers were all indoctrinated, just like you and I.
You know, from what those markings look like, it looks like the moon to me.
Because their teachers were
Are you sure that's the sun?
programmed with the same lies, and taught them to our teachers. Now get this, I can do the exact same thing with our moon, by using Tycho crater, which is claimed to be 50 miles in diameter, and using smaller craters to disprove the distance and size of the moon. Let's see if we can find a crater smaller than Tycho's 50-mile diameter. Here is a crater that's smaller than Tycho crater. I will duplicate it and place a copy in Tycho. Then a second crater, then a third crater, and a fourth crater, and finally a fifth crater. 5 craters across a 50-mile crater, and that means I am able to see a crater with a 10-mile diameter, from 240,000 miles away, using a handheld camera.
Yeah.
If you believe your childhood public school heliocentric education, without a doubt, or any personal proofs of your own, you show yourself as a faith believer in a model you can't even prove for yourself, without using other people's lies.
Yes, the sun is at a distance from us that it appears the same angular size as the moon. What's so hard to understand about that?
That's just how easy it is to disprove our heliocentric public school programming, that was designed to control the minds of the masses by teaching lies to innocent children, by reinforcing those lies on a daily basis, for the rest of their life.
It's funny how all these people that have been indoctrinated don't have to be unindoctrinated to get successful jobs in science. Isn't that amazing? Huh. God damn, James Mann is a dumb fuck. So yeah, he hadn't done anything in like months. So this is the first thing he's done in 3 months. So James Mann is a dumb motherfucker. He'll always be a dumb motherfucker because he has no interest in being anything other than a dumb motherfucker. Now on to Brian. And first off, note the tapering of the longitude lines towards the south, which is fucking impossible and the opposite of what would happen on a flat Earth.
In previous times, recent enough times, I've done 2 different videos. One was about how maps, the existence of maps and how we use them, can only happen if the Earth is flat.
And that's a lie.
And
that was debunked by everybody.
About how the globe itself and the surface of a globe or a sphere is always 3-dimensional.
The surface of the globe is 2-dimensional. The globe itself is 3-dimensional. This has been proved again, Brian.
Not 2-dimensional. Now, I'll put those links to those videos in the description of this video. This video, I'm going to marry the 2 things together because they're both connected, as I said in the video about the 3 dimensions of a sphere. This is a map of Africa, obviously. Ignore the background. Pay attention.
Oh, ignore the background. Ignore all the lines that prove me wrong, right?
Attention to this part down here, right? I'm going to be
So
coming back
funny.
to this a little bit later.
So funny.
Now, first of all, I must go through a couple of things. Okay, so
Oh, this is fantastic. A spherical triangle is a figure formed on a sphere's surface by three intersect. Okay, gotcha.
Spherical triangle, right? You'll understand in the close future why I'm going into this. A spherical triangle. A spherical triangle is a figure formed on a sphere's surface by three intersecting great circle arcs. Unlike planar
I do appreciate the fact that he stopped coughing like every 3 seconds. That's kind of nice.
triangles, the sum of a spherical triangle's three interior angles is always greater than 180 degrees. The difference between the sum and 180 degrees is known as the spherical excess, used to calculate the triangle's area, right? So now they call them a spherical triangles. They're not.
Oh, but this says spherical triangle, Brian. Your own citation says spherical triangle. So you're saying that your citation is bullshit?
Even just said they're the intersection of three circles of equal
No, 3 lines, Brian. 3 lines.
radius to the sphere. So that's what they actually are, right? A claimed spherical triangle. It's not a triangle. It's not trigonometry.
It's spherical trigonometry. And it says right here, spherical triangle. You're a dumb fuck, Brian. You are a lying sack of shit, Brian.
Circleometry. That's what it is. That's the more correct way to describe it. That's just
Oh, circleometry. Circleometry. That's what he calls trigonometry. Because Brian is a high school dropout. He's admitted that he's a high school dropout, that he didn't finish high school. And this is the result.
be honest about it. Definition: bounded by three great circles with the same radius as the sphere. Sides and angles. Both sides and angles are measured as angles. Sides are arc lengths representing angles from the center of a sphere, right? Because it's from the center that these things are. Using actual trigonometry from the center of a sphere is how these things are determined. Spherical excess, sum of angles 180 degrees. A triangle can have.
Oh, I wanted to show one thing here. Hold on. Oh, it was, yeah, I screenshot it and posted it to my channel. Where is it? Just to show you how fucking dumb Brian is. It's so fucking stupid. He doesn't know the difference between an odometer and a tachometer. What a dumb fuck. Hey, Brian, have you ever considered what a car's odometer measures? Revolutions? No, that's a tachometer, dipshit. That's a tachometer. An odometer measures how many revolutions your engine makes per minute or per second. You're a dumb fuck, Brian.
Can even have 390-degree angles totally
Hey, West Side.
270 degrees, which is why they're not a triangle, right? Because you can't have a triangle will never have more than 180 internal, a sum of 180 internal degrees.
Spherical triangle, unlike planar triangles, the sum of the spherical triangles, 3 interior angles, A plus B, or alpha plus beta plus epsilon, is always greater than 180 degrees. So you're just a piece of shit, Brian. You're a lying fuck.
You have, this is for the spherical excess. I've shown this in the past, or a variation of it in the past in my other videos.
Right, you've lied about it in your other videos. You've shown how fucking ignorant you are in your other videos.
Just like
I need
how
a soda.
spherical excess is determined, right? Basically, if your circulometry triangle, I can't even call it a triangle, has, let's say, 195 degrees, then you have 15 degrees of spherical excess. That's the best way to describe that.
Right. Yes, Brian. Yes. See, it proves you wrong.
Now, here is, right?
So Brian has to lie and gaslight and be a dishonest fuck in order to make a point.
Claimed right spherical triangle, which is circleometry. As you can see, right, if you add those three up, they're going to come to more than 180 degrees. How they actually even measure them is via tangents, because they can't measure them with the curves. So the tangents, so they'll have six.
No, they measure it with azimuth, not tangents. They measure it with an azimuth.
Tangents here, and they'll measure the angle between the tangents. That's how they actually will do it geometrically. But it's three-dimensional, right? A sphere is three-dimensional, and it's...
Yes, a sphere is three-dimensional. The surface of a sphere is two-dimensional, Brian.
Spherical claimed triangle.
See, we measure the surface of a sphere by square inches or square meters or square whatever unit of measurement we're using. That's a surface. That's a two-dimensional surface. So if I have a ball and I tell you what's the size of this area on the ball, are you going to put how high it is? No, you're going to say height times width, dumb fuck.
It's three-dimensional also. So,
or width times breadth to avoid confusion.
Why is a spherical triangle three-dimensional? Now, a spherical...
It's not three-dimensional. It's two-dimensional, Brian.
Triangle is considered three-dimensional because it is formed on the surface of a 3D sphere. Formed on the surface of a...
But the surface that it's on is a 2D surface.
3D sphere.
So it wouldn't be an actual 3D triangle. It's a 2D triangle drawn on a 2D surface.
Its sides defined by great circles, the intersection of a plane passing through the sphere's center and the surface. Unlike flat 2D triangles...
Now, if you took that spherical triangle off of the sphere and just put it in 3D space, then it would be three-dimensional.
These sides are arcs, and the figure possesses depth relative to a flat plane, right? So I'm just going to go down to more, right? Curved surface definition. It consists of three vertices on a 3D sphere surface connected by arcs of great circles. Diagonal angle or angles. The angles at the vertices are not...
What was that word you just tried to pronounce? What was that?
Diagonal angle or angles. The angles at the vertices are not just flat.
I mean dihedral?
Angles, but the diagonal angle between the planes of the sides. Angular sides, the sides themselves are measured by the angle they subtend at the center of the sphere. Three-dimensionality, a sphere, and consequently a spherical triangle on its surface is a 3D shape defined by its curvature. Now, remember that, a sphere and consequently a spherical triangle on its surface.
Right, a sphere is three-dimensional. The triangle you draw on that three-dimensional object, if you remove it from the object, is three-dimensional. But while it's on the surface, it's two-dimensional. Because you only have two directions you can go on the surface, Brian.
Right, is a 3D shape defined by its curvature. While the surface itself is a 2D manifold, right? But now that's straight away after...
What'd that say? While the surface itself is 2D manifold.
They're contradicting two different statements up here. Construction and properties of spherical triangles, such as the sum of angles exceeding 180 degrees or pi radians, are fundamentally dependent on the three-dimensional space. So they're trying to claim that the surface of the sphere is two-dimensional.
Are fundamentally dependent. If you have to take it off that 3D object to make it 3D, Brian.
While they're saying here a sphere and consequently a spherical triangle on its surface is a 3D shape defined by its curvature because the curvature is three-dimensional. An up here curved surface definition, it consists of three vertices on a 3D sphere's surface connected by arcs of great circles. Right, 3D sphere surface. It is for...
Right, a 3D sphere's surface. That's not saying a 3D surface of a sphere, Brian.
Formed on the surface of a 3D sphere with its right. So a spherical triangle, right, which is, I'll just go back, they're claiming this, right, is three-dimensional, but the surface it's on is not three-dimensional. That's what
Right. You have to take it off the surface to make it 3D, Brian.
that's what they're trying to claim there. Now that's complete and utter rubbish, right? Because they contradict themselves in this, because they're claiming that twice that the surface.
No, there's no contradiction there, Brian. It's just you're too fucking stupid to understand it. You're too dishonest to fucking understand it.
Is three-dimensional, and then claiming that the surface is two-dimensional. That's what they're literally doing, because you can't have a spherical triangle, right, be three-dimensional, and the surface of a sphere be two-dimensional, as that is part of the surface, right? The surface of a sphere is not two-dimensional; it is three-dimensional, as I have proven in the past.
No, you haven't proven in the past, Brian. You've just said it. That's not proving it, Brian. Every fucking citation you've presented has proved you wrong, Brian.
Right, but I'll just move on to, I asked a different question. Can a spherical triangle lay on a 2D surface? So if they're claiming, right, so while the surface itself is a 2D manifold, right?
Yes, the surface of a sphere is 2D, and a spherical triangle can lay on that 2D surface.
Right,
See, what you're thinking of is like a plane.
that's what they're referring to, the surface of a sphere, right? Can a spherical triangle lay on a 2D surface? No, a spherical triangle cannot lay flat on a 2D surface, a Euclidean plane, without distortions, as it is a fundamental object of curved geometry. A spherical triangle is formed.
See, when you ask it that, it's assuming you meant a flat plane, dumb fuck.
By three arcs of great circles, this closest equivalent to a straight.
So the better question would be, can a spherical triangle lay on a 2D surface of a sphere? So you have to specify, Brian. Yes, a spherical triangle lies entirely on the 2D surface of a sphere. While a sphere is a 3D object, its surface is considered a 2D surface because any point on it can be defined by two coordinates, such as latitude and longitude. A spherical triangle is a figure formed on the surface by three straight lines, arcs of great circles, that connect at 3 points. You're a dumb motherfucker, Brian. And you're a dishonest motherfucker, Brian.
Line on a sphere, right? In other words, it's not a straight line, it's a curve. Because the surface of a sphere is curved and a 2D plane is flat. They possess different intrinsic geometries, right? Key differences include angle sum. The interior angles of a spherical triangle always sum to more than 180 degrees, pi radians, whereas plane triangles always sum exactly to 180 degrees. That's because one of them are a triangle and the other one is not a triangle. One of them is actually a triangle. Curvature. Spherical triangles have positive curvature. A plane has zero curvature. Distortion. Attempting to flatten a spherical triangle onto a 2D surface is impossible without altering its side lengths or angles. Well, you're going to alter both, more or less, which is why map projections are always distorted, right? When they can.
Yes, they're always distorted because they're projections of a sphere, Brian. A map projection is a projection of a 3D sphere on a 2D surface. God damn, you're dumb.
Can approximate a 2D surface. If a spherical triangle is incredibly small relative to the size of the sphere, it behaves nearly like a planar triangle, as the curvature is negligible.
Right, that's due to scale, Brian.
Locally. However, geometrically, it is still a curved figure, not a truly flat one, right? So this is just total and utter nonsense. This is like
No, so your citation that you called up to prove you right is utter nonsense. Gotcha.
caveats that I have to put in there. No, it is never going to be two-dimensional. It is never going to lie flat on a plane. A claimed spherical triangle will always be three-dimensional because the surface it's on is three-dimensional. At all times, it will never be on a plane. That will never be the case. So as you just here, just to show from this Wolfram math word, you can see here, right, this is...
Hey, Brian, you think the people at Wolfram Math World know more about shit than you do? Probably, huh?
Right, as
Seeing as everybody who works for Wolfram Math World probably graduated high school at least.
spherical triangle formed from the center, right? Because it's formed using actual triangles, using actual trigonometry, right? Right angles and that. And you can see here, right, that it is absolutely just like the sphere it's on, although this is just like the sphere it's on, although this has edges. It's not a perfect sphere, it's spherical in shape, but it's definitely three-dimensional. You can see that it is three-dimensional and a sphere is three-dimensional.
Wait, are you saying, Brian, are you saying that an actual sphere doesn't have edges? Is that what you're saying? Huh. Well, you just debunked Nathan Oakley, Quantum Erasure, 10th Man, everyone, all you flat earth dumb fucks, when you say that the horizon is the leading edge of a sphere.
There's no if, buts, no maybes about that. That's what it is, right? So a claimed spherical triangle, right, which is not trigonometry, it's circlometry,
Right, it's spherical trigonometry.
is three-dimensional. It's the surface it sits on is three-dimensional.
No,
That's the surface of a
it's
sphere.
fucking not.
They try to claim that the surface of a sphere is two-dimensional because they need to claim that to hijack things like the latitude and longitude grid and the XY grid. They
No, we don't say that because of what you said. We say that because that's the fucking truth, Brian.
need to claim that, right?
That's a mathematical truth.
Because the latitude and longitude grid and the Cartesian grid are used, one is a polar, which is the latitude and longitude grid, and the Cartesian grid, which is an XY grid, right, are used in reality, right, when measuring and for maps and for navigation and different things like that, right? So they need to claim.
No, we don't use we don't use that for navigation, Brian. Nowadays they use a sphere. They use Google Earth, or they use GPS, which is a global positioning system. Pilots haven't used flat maps in years, Brian. They may use them to plot out their flight plan, but they don't use flat maps to navigate anymore, Brian.
The surface of a sphere is two-dimensional because they need to hijack those things in reality.
Hey, Calder.
When X and Y is two dimensions, latitude and longitude is two dimensions. There's no third dimension. Unless you add the Z to the X and Y, then there you have the third dimension, right? But the X and Y itself is only two, and the latitude and longitude is only two. That's why polar and Cartesian grids or XY grids work together perfectly all the time. You can translate and transform the coordinates over. You can always do that. So, but you can't place any of them on the surface of a sphere and have them work. It do not fit because the surface of a sphere, right, is three-dimensional, as is proven by a spherical claimed triangle, right?
No, that's not proving anything, Brian. God damn. Holy fuck, man.
So that leads us to the next place. I'm just going to minimize this a sec, which is here, right? So here is a sphere, right? 3D calculator, right? So it is a sphere. Yep, a sphere, AB. I'll remove it, place it back in again, right? That is a sphere. Here is a triangle. That's what this is, this polygon, right? So I just remove it, right? Triangle, and I have three angles in that. When you add these angles up, they will come to 180 degrees, right? That's what they'll be.
Right, and that's not laying on the surface of a sphere, Brian. You've taken an image of a sphere and drawn a planar triangle over it. That's what you've done, Brian.
You can add them up: 83.56, 42.94, and 53.5. Add those together, you'll get 180. So this is an actual triangle on the surface of a sphere, but it's not.
No, it's not, Brian. It's fucking not.
actually not on the surface. It's tangent to the sphere. That's what it is.
Oh, so like I said, you've drawn a spherical triangle you've drawn a planar triangle on a sphere. Jesus fucking Christ, man.
So it's not on the surface, it's tangent to the sphere. If you place this onto the surface of that sphere, what's going to happen is these straight lines here are going to start bowing out the way, right? And increase.
No, they won't bow outward. They will conform to the curve of the sphere and create a spherical triangle, Brian. It will still have, well, this won't have 90 degrees because you've drawn a wonky one.
Increasing in length, and these angles are going to increase in length. Kind of like, where are we? Right, just like this. That's what's going to happen. Right, if you try to place that triangle onto the sphere, it's going to end up looking something like this. That's what's going to happen. So there's an increase in the length of the line. There is an increase in the internal angles, and that gives an overall increase in the area. Why does that happen? Simple, because the surface of a sphere is three-dimensional, whereas a triangle is two-dimensional. So when you try to place that triangle, that's two-dimensional shape, onto a three-dimensional surface, there will be distortions.
It's not a three-dimensional surface, Brian.
As is proven by claimed spherical triangles. So there's no way around that.
Wait, what? By what? What'd you just say, Brian?
Distortions, as is proven by claimed spherical triangles.
Proven by spherical triangles. But you just said there's no such thing as a spherical triangle. But then you say spherical triangles prove it. God damn, you're fucking ignorant.
So there's no way around that. It is distorting, right? It's distorting it because the surface it's going onto is not two-dimensional, right? That is just the truth. It's just the facts, as is proven.
No, it's not the facts, Brian. Is the surface of a sphere two-dimensional or three-dimensional? See, these are the facts, Brian. The surface of a sphere is technically two-dimensional because it requires only two coordinates such as latitude and longitude to define a point. Yet it is embedded within a three-dimensional space. While the solid sphere ball is 3D, its surface is 2D. So, again, you're a dumb fuck, Brian. You're a dishonest dumb fuck.
By claimed spherical triangles, circulometry. So, where am I going with this? Right. This is where I'm going. So, if I take this map and I draw a triangle on it, right? I've drawn a triangle here from Rabat, which is the capital of Morocco, to Cairo, which is the capital of Egypt, and down to Maputo, which is the capital of Zimbabwe, right, as far as I can see. And on that triangle, you can see those lines are straight. Now, in the background, right?
Right, because you don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Of this map of Africa, you can.
So you've taken a 3D projection, put on a 2D sphere, or a 3D projection on a 2D plane, which doesn't. You haven't really removed any distortion, and then you draw straight lines on it. Okay, sure.
See, they have what appears to be the implication.
Oh yeah, totally agree, Cygnus. Hey, what's you doing? What's up?
Of it being on a sphere, right? Now these lines are straight. This is not a claimed spherical triangle, incorrectly named spherical triangle. This is an actual triangle. With its internal angles will match 180 degrees. If we come down,
right, then it would not be laying on the surface of this spherical map, Brian. God damn. Holy shit.
Down here we have different elements on this map. We have these brown lines are international boundary. Red line is road. Blue line is river. The black star is national capital. The dot is city or town. And then we have here a scale from 0 to 1,000 miles. That's 2 inches scale. So for every 1 inch is 500 miles. Every 2 inches is 1,000 miles. Right. So that means that from Maputo, right, 2 inches up on this map is 1,000 miles. Now, that's 1,000 straight, linear, horizontal miles. That's what's being implied. right? Another 2 inches up is another 1,000. Another 2 inches up is another 1,000, and so on. Another 2 inches is another 1,000, right? All the way around, right? So there is no if, buts, or maybes that the scale on this map is matching, right? This scale here is matching.
Oh, yeah. Brian thinks that all measurements have to be straight, right? If I go from here to there, but I take a curved path, that curve is straight according to Brian, because you can't go from point A to point B in anything less than a straight line.
A flat 2D plane.
I mean, you think I'm joking,
right? That's now obviously Africa is going to be two-dimensional because it's going to have
Ask Cygnus if I'm joking.
elevation changes, but it's overall it's not going to be totally two-dimensional because it'll have elevation changes, but its overall surface can only be described as flat, right? And the reason this proves that Africa and the rest of the world, and of course all maps prove it's flat, that the Earth is flat and can only be described correctly in that way, is because these are actual distances that you can travel, right? And within this area here, right, or within these 3 straight lines, the area that exists there, right, will match reality. If Africa was on a globe Earth, on a sphere, then what would happen is this would be what the triangle would look like. There would
No, that is not what the triangle would look like, Brian. This is a equilateral triangle. What you drew wasn't.
be more than 180 degrees, and you would have an excess of area in here that could not be placed onto the map, right? Because you couldn't straighten out these lines, which would shorten them, and then change also these degrees of angle, right, to 180, as a total of 180. You could not do that without losing area, right? There's an area here that will be lost. Now, if this is reality, if the Earth really was a sphere,
They don't use spherical excess to measure area, Brian. That's not the purpose of it.
and this was reality, then there is no denying it that on this map, there has to be some ratio to add back in that missing area, right, within those 3 straight lines, and the missing distance along the straight lines themselves. Because in reality, if the reality was that we were living on a sphere, then this straight line here, right, between Maputo and Cairo, has to be greater in length than is shown on the map. Because it's not going to be straight, it's going to be curved, which means it'll be a longer line than this. The same for this one between Cairo and Rabat, and the same for the one between Rabat and Maputo. They will all be longer, they will all bow out the way, which means there will be greater area in here. So there should be 2 extra things.
Yeah, because when you take a spherical triangle and you flatten it, it has to change, Brian.
Here, 2 extras here on this map, and on every map, regardless of the size of the map, there should be 2 ratios, one for adding in the extra
Hey, Viz.
area and one for giving extra length to the lines. There would have to be. If this really was this country, or this continent of Africa, the continent of Africa was really existing on a sphere Earth, then there'd be no way that this map here would be usable. It'd be impossible for it to be usable without having those ratios, because
Welcome to Le Table. We have maps that are totally usable.
if a plane is flying from, let's say, 1 second now, I'll just get, let's give me a line.
God, what a dumb fuck.
So I'm going to change the color of the line to, let's see, so I'll change it that color, it can be seen. So if a plane is flying from Cairo, let's just say, to, right, in the direction of Abuja here, right, then if it's flying from here to here, like this, then this line is going to be longer than is shown on this map. Because if we were living on a globe, these 3 lines would be bowed out the way, the area in between here would be greater, and all 3 lines on the outside would be longer, and this purple line would be longer than is shown on the map. Now, I can absolutely guarantee you that there is no corrections on any flight charts, right, or any maps anywhere in history to add back in missing area and give extra length to lines. I can absolutely guarantee it that never existed and never will. Because in reality, someone flying from here to here, right, would fly this exact distance along this purple line. There would be no need to ever add in extra length to the line? Do we no need to add in extra area in between the blue lines? Right? That is exactly what we're seeing here. Is exactly reality. Now, this can't be reality if the Earth is a globe. It's impossible because there is no way for.
So it's impossible for there to be a length from here to here. If the Earth is a globe, that you couldn't get from here to here because you just can't go past this line. Is that what you're fucking saying, Brian? Is that what you're trying to fucking say, you dumb motherfucker?
These two-dimensional distances, right? And this area that's going to be calculated within 2 dimensions, there's no way for that to fit reality if Africa is on the surface of a sphere, because that will mean that it's on a 3-dimensional surface. Right? There's no way around it. None of these can work, right? And there would have to be extra calculations here, extra ratios added into this section on the map, right? Where 1,000 miles is 2 inches, right, flat, but then they'd have to have a second one where actually it's not going to be that 2 inches is actually going to be 1,200 miles or some nonsense like that. Right? In reality, it'll be 1,200 miles, not 1,000 miles. It would have to be like that. There'd be no way that you could draw triangles on a map and then use the area within those triangles or straight line distances. It just cannot be done. If the Earth is a sphere, without those ratios, it can't be done. So if we're using maps all the time without those ratios, and we've been using them without those ratios consistently for God knows how long since the maps turned up, then that proves without a shadow of a doubt that the Earth is flat and there is no globe. And
holy fuck, you're dumb.
The story. There is no fighting this. There's no going against this. That's just the way it is. As is proven by their claimed, incorrectly called spherical triangles, right, requiring a 3D surface of a sphere.
Man, Nathan Oakley, 10th Man, Quantum Eraser, they've done a number on his brain, haven't they? Holy shit, Brian, you have to be, since Flatsoid dropped out of the Flat Earth cult, you have got to be the dumbest motherfucker in the cult by far. Holy fuck. Hey Dan, what's up, man? You just showed up way too late. Sorry. That's the show. Sorry. So, yeah, again, Brian proves how fucking dumb he is, how dishonest he is, how ignorant he is. Wow. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. We will talk to you tomorrow. And as always, be seeing you. Yeah.